It's me. It's Wednesday, the 5th of August, 6th of August. It's really weird weather for this time of year. It's continued to be dry. We had some very, very fine light rain briefly yesterday, but actually we're still having a drought. It's cool. Well, I can't see I can only think of the French word, the girouette on the roof. The weather vane. I can't see the weather vane. But listening to that, it sounds like the weather's coming, the wind's coming from the north, east. I thought I'd show you that I'm still alive. It's been several days since I vlogged. I seem to have hit a wall, and I've been in quite a lot of pain over the last 2 or 3 days. And of course, chronic pain just drags you down and makes you really tired, and that's how I felt. I did a meal yesterday. I cooked a chicken earlier in the day, and then at lunchtime stood for half an hour making a Caesar salad, which is really simple. But by the just before I finished making it, I was really dragging and needing to sit down. Today I made a chicken and broccoli and cheese layered keto thing, um, using things that I'd got. So I'd got the chicken, obviously the leftover chicken from yesterday, and I'd got broccoli, and I'd bought a bechamel sauce. So I added some chicken stock to that. I think I added too much chicken stock, um, and just layered it up with cheese and the bechamel sauce, and topped it off with parmesan. And oh god, it was just so salty, and I hadn't added salt to it. I think the chicken stock was salty, and I'd used 2 cubes. So, but it's meant to be sustaining because it's keto. It's sort of quite high fat and protein. Because of the pain I've been in, I've been wanting carbs, and I've been comfort eating, because I've not been able to get on top of the pain. Um, I don't know why or what. I have the extra appointment that I asked for. Um, I contacted my rheumatologist just after my, was it June or May? Just after my appointment with her, asking for another appointment, saying, I think I declined something that I want. I'd like to try biologic, and um, blah blah blah. Got no reply from that letter, and then rung 2 weeks later asking for an extra appointment. And the appointment that I was given at that point, so we were still in June. It was just after we postponed our trip to the UK. Um, and I thought, well, now the trip's postponed, I can get started on this, and then by the time we go to the UK in September, I'll be feeling a lot better. My appointment is next week, the 21st of August. Yesterday morning I rung thinking I'm going to postpone. I'm going to cancel that one and keep my November one. Because I don't know, yesterday morning I couldn't see. I don't know, maybe I wasn't thinking straight. I'm not sure. But luckily, it was just a recording saying they're closed from this date to this date. So they're on their annual holiday. And then by the afternoon I thought, I do really need to go. I don't like going. I don't like going because I use a translator to tell her what I need to tell her. She reads it, and I know I've said this so many times before. She forgets that I've used a translator, so rattles off in French. Somebody suggested I take somebody with me who could translate for me or whatever, but I don't. There isn't anybody nearby whose French and English is good enough. There isn't anybody. So no, I can't. I'm not paying somebody. The last person I paid lives um, lives an hour away, and it cost a lot of money. And that was when we had that meeting with next door, about the dogs barking. I mean, that was, for me, that was valuable to spend that money on that. Um, and of course, other people would say I'm not valuing myself. It's valuable to have, but I don't think I want to drag an interpreter with me. It's my French is not good, but it's not that bad. But there's bits I miss, so I need to write something and be really clear about what I want. And then I'm going to have to say to her, but I can't start this until I come back in mid-September, so I'll have to postpone it for a month. But that'll be okay, because what will happen is she'll set up different blood tests to the ones I normally have. I normally now have a bi-monthly blood test, which when I first started on methotrexate was a monthly. So I should probably go back to monthly blood tests, but that's fine. I can sort that. I'll just make sure I've got my prescription filled, so that I've got enough methotrexate and enough steroids to take me through till the middle of September, which is when I'll be able to start. So that, yeah, so I'm struggling, and that's why I've not vlogged, because I feel tired, I look tired, and I felt, I sort of probably felt quite low. So I'm just, and I've hurt my hands, hurt this thumb, this one not so much. This thumb, I've been okay up until I purchased a expansion pack for my game, which was a forestry expansion pack, and it's part of that is you're creating materials, building materials to build a roller coaster. So it was quite interesting. But there's a lot of forestry involved until you realise that you've got quite a lot of money, and you can just buy the materials you need. But at the beginning, I was having to manipulate a machine to grab logs, cut down trees, grab the logs and take them to the sawmill. And this thumb was doing a lot of work, and now it hurts like fuck, and it's my fault, self-inflicted. So yeah, so I'm taking a sabbatical from playing. I did a bit yesterday, having taken a bit of a sabbatical. I'll just do a little bit, but actually my thumb's really sore again today, and I've gone back to my cows. And when I last spoke about it to you, I was doing pigs, but because we lost internet, I didn't want to continue with that, because I would possibly lose some of my content without being connected. So I started a new game, and because I was on that new game for a good week, it's reached a point of I'm just carrying on with it. So I'm a dairy farmer. I was a meat farmer, but I've moved on to being a dairy farmer. So yeah, so I played a bit of that yesterday, and I shouldn't have done. I've been recording, but actually watched it as it happened, or almost as it happened, the Great British Sewing Bee last night. I like all of those programmes, even though I'm not a sewer. And I think my favourite to win is Jackie, the woman who had the garment of the week last night. And I don't like, is it Kit? The gay guy, I can't, I don't like him. He's too much of a performer, and if you watch him, he does really well, and he's really pleased that he does really well. But if you watch his face when Jackie won Garment of the Week last night, he didn't look happy about that, and I imagine him being a sore loser, so I don't like him. Novella, who left last night, really irritated me. I'm quite irritated by that type of person who is so disorganized and scatty. Really, those people, disorganized, scatty people, really irritate me, because when I'm not a disorganized, scatty person. I can't deal with scatty, and yeah, I find that irritating. I think it probably reminds me somewhat of my older sister, who was also disorganised. I wouldn't use the word scatty to describe her, but definitely disorganised and airy fairy. So yeah, that's probably why I don't like Novella. But anyway, she's gone. I don't know who's going to go next. Don't know the names. I don't know all their names properly yet. I think the little Welsh lady might be on the edge now. And is it Dan? I think Dan got off this week, so he needs to really work hard to stay next week. And the presenter, whose name I can't remember, is pregnant. I can see she's pregnant again. So that's exciting. I like new babies. So not long now, a few days, and my family will be here. And they're staying about 20 minutes away, so we'll dip in and out of being with them, which will be a very comfortable way to do it without getting overtired. I'm sure they'll go and do things, but they're looking forward to just relaxing and being able to. I mean, Thea likes swimming and there's a pool, so they're looking forward to just relaxing, taking it easy, and getting up slowly, and just taking some time out. I think they'll do a few visits. There's a place about 40 minutes from here called Vallée de Singe, which is a monkey park zoo, which is fascinating. But we've been so many times now. Just love watching the gorillas and the young monkeys and the young gorillas. It's just absolutely fascinating. But they'll probably go there because they're bringing mother-in-law with them, who's not been, and they've been. But the last time they went there, I think Theo was a lot younger. But it depends on the temperature. It would be ideal today, but it's going to go back into the 30s, I think, next week, and not high 30s. But if you go there when it's too hot, the animals are just sleeping because it's too hot. Very sensible. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm also thinking about and planning towards our house sitters coming, and finding that a bit stressful. Only because I keep thinking about what I can't do. I keep thinking about the things I'm not able to do. Even my family coming next week, they're coming here first for just tea and snacks or whatever in the afternoon. And I'm thinking, I don't think I can do the ferrying in and out of stuff. That's how bad I feel. So thinking about house sitters coming and thinking they're going to come mid-afternoon on a Sunday, we will normally eat at midday meal, or our lunchtime meal, our main meal. But I don't know what I will give them, and how much stamina I'll have to be a hostess. And I know this has been something I've been worrying about for weeks, really, but it starts to build up again. Vicky was here yesterday, and she did 2 or 3 jobs that really needed doing. We've got in the utility room, which is beyond Mark's bunker, where we keep the green trolley in summer when it's not full of wood, and in the lounge in winter. We keep all the paper bags in there from shopping, and wooden trays from shopping, and any bits of cardboard, small cardboard packaging for fire lighting in the winter. But it's chucked in there. And I wrote the instructions and sent them to the house sitters, and I wrote, you're welcome to make a fire if you need one. I've no idea what the weather's going to be like in September. Welcome to have a fire, plenty of wood, fire lighting materials in the utility room, just beyond the bunker. And then I said to Vicky, can you go and make that look like we care about how that looks before the house sitters come? So she's done a really good job of there's 3 wooden trays, that vegetables come in, those thin wood that Mark breaks up for kindling. 3 wooden trays, and each wooden tray she scrunched up 6 paper bags in each tray, then a tray on top, more paper bags, tray on top. It really looks like we're bothered. But it matters to me. It doesn't matter to Mark, he doesn't care, but it matters to me. I got to clean out the inside of the dishwasher. The bulb went on my oven, so Mark replaced that yesterday. So yeah, I've got another job for her up in our middle bedroom. It's full of duvets and pillows that are just, like when we swap duvets, chuck that duvet in, bring that one out. But the ironing board's in there, so I need her to make that room look a bit less chaotic and tidy. It's only a case of folding stuff up, which I can't do because I can't use my hands. So that they can get that access the ironing board. So they're the things like that's what I do. It's less than a month away now, but it's like I have to work towards it. And meanwhile, Mark is building his submarine. the way we roll. Yeah, so that's what's going on. That's why I've not vlogged. And Jazz is fine. She's moving normally. I told you that she'd had another x-ray, that the x-ray looked the same, but actually she's well. Ida comes round and is out the front quite a lot. We've got, I think they're plantains out there, that I don't seem to grow out the back here. And she just comes round there and eats and eats and eats and eats. So I think it's, she really, really eats when she's out there. So I think she is, even though this is a big piece of ground out here, I think with this drought she's short of food. She's got hay that's been hanging in her shelter that she doesn't use. There's hay in there if she needs food. Um, I don't know what else to do really. She won't eat. I'm sure she wouldn't eat sheep pellets, and sheep pellets come in great 10 kilo sacks or 20 kilo sacks, and she's just a chicken, a sheep. And I know that when we first got the sheep, we supplied sheep pellets, and they were not interested at all because they weren't used to it. I don't know, maybe Ida might do, but we'll see. She doesn't look thin. She doesn't look like she's losing weight, but she's really eating when she's out the front. Chickens are fine, still locked in. One of the chickens is laying eggs. I think it's the chicken that looks, the hen that looks like a hen rather than the others who are naked necks. There's 3 naked necks, aren't there? So the fourth one was just a normal hen, and I think she was older, so she's laying. So you can just about see the difference because Mark didn't know. He's bringing the eggs up because I'm not even well enough to go down and do them, and he's bringing the eggs up. And I'm going, that's not Mrs. Brahma's egg. You can just tell it's not as pale, and it's slight, a few speckles on it. So that's good. So we've got 2 hens laying, and the naked necks can catch up when they're ready. So that's it. That's the news from here on a Wednesday in August, a cool Wednesday. I don't know what the temperature is, but it is really quite cool. I sat under the umbrella there to have a sort of siesta and got cold and had to come and move myself under the pergola. So they had a bit of dappled shade from the passion flower, but was getting some heat because I wasn't warm enough under the umbrella. So that's that. I hope you're all well. I'm sorry that I haven't responded to any of your comments, and you never know, one day I might do, but right now I can't work out how I'm going to do that. Okay, take care. Thanks for watching. See you soon.